Peace, love, and shalom to all. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for viewing my videos. Today I'll be discussing a video that I recently seen where a guy was sentenced to prison. Please, if you wouldn't mind, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you feel that it's valuable. I would like to send a special shout out to a few of the new members. Thank you for your love and support. Those names being I Am Anonymous 1, Tamba Heiko, hopefully I didn't slaughter that, Janine Matos. I'm sure, feel free to text me, Janine, if I've slaughtered that. And also Simon Johnson, a longtime subscriber. I think he's been here since I began this page. Thank you all for all your help and your support. All right, so this video I found it was a little bit it was a little funny to me and a little messed up, but let's get right into the video.
It happened just seconds after David Chiselton was handed his sentence, 47 years in prison after pleading guilty to assaulting his girlfriend and setting fire to an apartment building back in 2017.
Okay, so the first issue I often find is people will take a plea bargain, suggested by their attorney, take a plea bargain, and they'll end up getting the short end of the stick, or the crappy end of the stick. And so in this situation, this guy got 47 years for domestic violence and setting fire to an apartment complex, which possibly endangered many other lives. I could see someone getting hit with attempted murder for something like that, whether it be just for his ex, if there are any children in the building, or if there are anybody else, period, in the building. I could see someone getting hit with attempted murder, multiple counts of that. And so this dude just attacked him.
Turned to him because I was about to tell him that I would come and meet with him privately to see if there was anything we could do to reduce his sentence. But before I could even open my mouth, I just heard a swoosh sound, and all I remember is waking up on the floor underneath.
All right, so this dude got swooshed, and I hate whenever people try to put on this type of persona, because his proceeding was a public proceeding. It wasn't like it was in chambers or nobody else was able to view it. It was being recorded. And he's saying he wants to take it outside of the public, outside of being on the record, and discuss with him how he can get that sentence lowered. Why not speak to the judge, or why didn't he present the case in a sense of trying to get it lowered while on the record? Why are you trying to go back and now go lower? So I can see that guy's anger. I can see why he would be upset. And like, wait, 47 years? And he's like, hey, let's talk about this in private. Let's figure out how we can get that lowered to maybe 30 years in prison for all these things that you've done. And this is why I often tell people, if you're going to get an attorney, make sure that you're paying attention to what they're doing and how they're proceeding with the case. Ask questions so that you aren't setting yourself up for failure. And this is not legal advice. I should have said this from the beginning. This is not legal advice. I don't have an opinion about attorneys being a negative sense or a positive sense, and neither do I have any pro se litigants or anyone who wants to go in a courtroom and represent themselves.
The table.
Criminal defense attorney Aaron Brockler says he woke up to officers on top of his client.
The prosecutors were behind me. I guess they were trying to pull me out from under him because he was biting me. So, yeah.
Where was he biting you?
He was biting me in my rear end.
I think that shows a lot of disdain for a person, a lot of anger that's built up for somebody to bite you like that. Like there must have been some type of miscommunication or misunderstanding on the guy's part, thinking that he was possibly going to get a lower sentence. I spoke with one guy who was told by his attorney that, hey man, don't worry, this is just you. Since this is just your first offense, all you're gonna get is probation. And come to find out, when he went to sentencing, he got around like 5 to 7 years in state prison. And so, like, in his situation, I'm wondering if he would have felt justified if he would have punched the guy or swooshed him.
Despite the scary moments, Brockler is in good spirits, knowing that no one else was hurt.
And then I felt blessed that, it was just a busted nose and a concussion.
The Coyote
Yeah, I would feel blessed too if all I sustained was a busted nose and a concussion after I just won my client 47 years in prison. I mean, and this is still not justifying anything that happened from the guy and his assault charges or whatever I guess the whole entirety of what he's being charged with. But I wouldn't joke about it or be like, oh, I'm just, happy that's all I got. What about you?
Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas now reviewing their security policy. Brockler says Chiselton was handcuffed from the front instead of the back.
And it could have been avoidable. And hopefully, I took a couple shots and now nobody else will have to.
Well, that is, to be handcuffed in the back can be, I guess less humane or make a person feel like he has less freedom while he's discussing things in this type of situation. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, what are you guys' opinion on that? Handcuff in the back or handcuff in the front? I say handcuff in the front if you're not gonna get years like this, but handcuff in the back if you already know that you're gonna hand your client over.
Asked if Brockler would like to say anything to Chiselton.
I would tell him that I forgive him.
I don't know if his client will want to hear that conversation. I don't think he really cares if he actually forgives him. But from what I've actually read, the reason why a lot of people do not trust attorneys in situations like this, I don't think that you can't or that you can or can't trust attorneys. It just depends on who the attorney is and what their moral codes are. And the reason why a lot of people do not trust attorneys is, let me go to it, just give me a second. So I think one of the main reasons why many people do not trust attorneys is a book that we often read called, well, not we, but a lot of people read, called Corpus Juris Secundum. It's the 7th volume, and it's in section 4 of it. But let's look at it. Bring this up. All right, so this section is the attorney and client relationship and discussing it. This fourth section discusses the nature of the relationship. So I'll just read this above portion, and then I'll go into the subsection that a lot of people focus on. So it reads, an attorney does not, well, let me highlight this for you guys. Not even highlighting well. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, let's bring it up just like that. An attorney does not hold an office or public trust in the constitutional or statutory sense of that term, but is an officer of the court. He is, however, in a sense, an officer of the state with an obligation to the courts and to the public, no less significant than his obligation to his clients. The office of an attorney is indispensable to the administration of justice and is intimate and peculiar in its relation to and vital to the well-being of the court. An attorney has a duty to aid the court in seeing that actions and proceedings in which he is engaged as counsel are conducted in a dignified and orderly manner, free from passion and personal animosities, and that all causes brought to an issue are tried and decided on their merits only, to aid any effort under the court's direction to root out corruption and fraud, and also to devote his ability, skill, and diligence along ethical and professional lines to the interests of his client, and to refrain from entering into any alliance or incurring any obligation connected with the litigation in which he is engaged as counsel, that would place him in a position where his professional interest would be adverse to those of his client. So, pretty much what is often taken into account, or what's often thought, is that as you can see, the attorney is a officer of the state and of the court. And where a lot of people seem to go with it, or where I have gone with it, is that this portion is the most important, where it says first duty not to clients. So with that being said, whose duty are they going to be working for? I paid for this guy to help me. What is he helping me with? So all right, so this portion right here is what most people focus on. The first duty is not to clients. So what does that mean? To a lot of us, it means that their first duty is to the courts. But let's see what it says. Counsel must remember that they, too, are officers of the courts, administrators of justice, oath-bound servants of society, that their first duty is not to their clients, as many suppose, but is to the administration of justice, that to this their client's success is wholly subordinate, that their conduct ought to and must be scrupulous, observant of law and ethics, and to the extent that they fail therein, they injure themselves, wrong their brothers at the bar, bring reproach upon an honorable profession, betray the courts, and defeat justice. And you can see that with U.S. v. Frank, and it continues on with the different court cases that applies to that it was held in. Now, first looking at it, to me, that would say, hey, court over client, which is why most of them would try to plea bargain with you, which is helping the courts and also helping the client. You get a plea bargain, which should be a lower sentence than what the prosecution is going for. So them getting a lower one will help you, but still hitting you with something will help the courts. But at another glance, or looking at it from another position, it's saying justice over everything. Justice over your client, justice over whatever the other side is trying to do. It's just you're trying to seek out justice and follow the law. Now, tomato, somebody could try to argue with me over that, but looking at it in its entirety, it's saying it's all equal. The attorney is there to go either with the public, with the courts, or with the client. Whoever he can decide to go with without any emotion or any attachment, he has to go with that. And that's why, like, a lot of people would say, or I've heard it said, that you don't tell anybody information in any type of charge, especially if you get an attorney. You don't give him information and say, oh yeah, this is what I did, but let's go for this. No, that doesn't. You're incriminating yourself, whether you tell somebody or not. This is why self-representation may be your best bet. All right, so I also seen this portion, and I think is important. Conflict of duties. In a case of conflict between attorney's duty to client and that of the court, his duty to the court must prevail. So it makes me wonder, what is the duty to the court? Because it's saying if it's an issue between the court and your client, go with the court. Because that's right here who his first duty is to justice and to the brotherhood. So with that being said, it is a conflict of interest, in my opinion, especially watching some of the videos that we're going to be discussing on this channel, different things that I've seen. And we go to the second portion right here. Oh, now you want to do it right. And it reads, duties to court and profession conflict with where duties to court and profession conflict with those, dang it, where duties to court and profession conflict with those an attorney deems due a client from friendship, he should abandon the relation of an attorney. Pretty much, I think, step down as an attorney or recuse himself because of his heart for his friend. So yeah, what do you guys think in this case with the guy that had the issue as far as the 47 years go? How would you have reacted on that situation? For me, it sounds like he may have discussed something less than what he got. Or he may just be an angry person and showing exactly what happened with his ex. Hopefully she's okay. And hopefully everybody in the apartment complex is okay. So tell me what you think, guys. Tell me what you think about the situation. Tell me what you think about the attorney's first duties and the continued subsections of the corpus juris secundum, the attorney-client relationship. All right, guys, thank you. And once again, like, subscribe, and if you feel inclined, feel free to join our membership. Thank you.